area of Kwara State, where Boko Haram terrorists overnight killed villagers in Woro. President Tinubu said the new military command will spearhead Operations Savannah Shield to checkmate the barbaric terrorists and protect defenseless communities. He condemned the attack and described the gunmen as heartless. President Tinubu expressed regret that the attackers killed the community members who rejected the obnoxious attempt at indoctrination, chosen instead of practice Islam that is neither extreme nor violent. The president urged collaboration between federal and state agencies to provide succor to members of the community and ensure those who committed the atrocities were brought to book. President Tinubu prayed for the repose of the soul of the deceased and condoled with those who lost family members and people and the government of Kwara State.
As part of efforts to strengthen national security and suppress smuggling activities across border communities, the Nigeria Customs Service has emphasized the need for closer synergy with traditional rulers. The acting Customs Area Controller of Ogun One Area Command, Mr. Oladapo Atheni, made this known during a strategic courtesy visit to the Onipokia of Ipukia Kingdom of Bayisa Olaniyan. Mr. Atheni noted that the traditional institutes remained critical partners in the suppression of smuggling and the enhancement of national security, particularly in border communities like Ipukia. He reiterated the core mandates of the service, including trade facilitation, revenue generation, and anti-smuggling operations, while urging the Traditional Council to continue sensitizing residents on the dangers of illicit trade and its negative impact on national security and economic growth. The Onipokia of Ipukia Kingdom, Oba Olaniyan, commended the Controller General of Customs for his transformative leadership and commitment to global best practices.
The Nigeria Customs Service, Oyo Osun Area Command, says it has recorded seizures with a cumulative duty paid value of about 3 billion naira within 1 month. The statement by the acting controller of the command, Mr. Wale Adewale, explained that the seizures were made at various flashpoints through credible intelligence, sustained patrol and strategic enforcement operations. He noted that the figure represents over 15% increase compared to seizures recorded in the same period last year. According to him, the items were intercepted from individuals attempting to smuggle prohibited item into Oyo State and were transferred to the appropriate authority in line with established procedures. Mr. Adewale said the items included cannabis sativa, cartridges, pharmaceutical product, used clothes, shoes, foreign parboiled rice, spaghetti, used tires, compressors, and petroleum monitor spirit, and others. Mr. Adewale reaffirmed the command's commitment to combating economic sabotage.
Oyo State Government, through the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, has commenced a 24-hour surveillance operation to curb illegal scavenging activities across Ibadan metropolis. The Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Mr. Ademola Aderinto, stated this in an interview with newsmen. Mr. Aderinto explained that the action was targeted at regulating the activities of metal scavengers, popularly known as BOLA, in order to prevent infrastructure vandalism, enhance public safety, and promote environmental sustainability across the state. He noted that unchecked scavenging has contributed to environmental degradation and insecurity in some parts of the state. Mr. Aderinto, who emphasized that open scavenging is prohibited in the state, assured that government would not relent in its resolve to identify, arrest, and prosecute offenders in line with existing environmental laws. According to the Commissioner, violators are liable to penalties, including fines ranging from 20 to 50,000 naira, community service, and possible jail terms depending on the severity of the offense. The Commissioner revealed that as part of the ongoing enforcement drive, a total of 19 illegal scavengers have been apprehended and prosecuted. In a related development, Mr. Aderinto said the ministry also sealed a food processing facility located within a residential area at Wofun, Ibadan, following findings that its boiler was emitting excessive carbon soot into the environment, thereby contributing to air pollution. Mr. Aderinto stressed that the facility would only be reopened after full compliance from the company.
The House of Representatives has constituted a bipartisan conference committee on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill as part of effort to address persistent calls for electoral reforms ahead of the 2027 general election. A statement issued by the House spokesperson, Akin Rotimi, notes that the committee is mandated to harmonize areas of disagreement between the versions of the bill earlier passed by the Senate and the House of Reps. The seven-member committee is chaired by the chairman of the House Committee on Electoral Matters and Lagos lawmaker, Mr. Adebayo Balogun. The committee is mandated to confer with its counterpart from the Senate with a view to harmonizing the differing provisions of the Electoral Act bill as passed by both chambers ahead of final passage by the National Assembly.
The National and State Assembly Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Ibadan has upheld the electoral victory of the member representing Ibadan North Federal Constituency, Mr. Folajimi Oyekunle, in the August 16, 2025 by-election. The tribunal, in a unanimous judgment delivered by a three-member panel headed by Justice A.M. Yakub, dismissed the petition filed by the Social Democratic Party SDP against Mr. Oyekunle and the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC, describing the case as lacking merit and substantial evidence. In addition to dismissing the petition, the tribunal awarded a cost of 2 million naira against the SDP in favor of the People's Democratic Party PDP for what it termed a frivolous and unsubstantiated suit. Following the closure of the parties' cases and the adoption of their respective written addresses, the tribunal held that the SDP failed to prove its allegations against Mr. Oyekunle and INEC with credible, cogent and convincing evidence. Reacting to the judgment, Mr. Oyekunle described the tribunal's verdict as a clear affirmation of the will of the people of Ibadan North Federal Constituency, stating that the judgment further confirmed that the electorate genuinely voted for him.
Health experts have advocated the establishment of a health infrastructure bank for easy purchase of health equipment to promote quick diagnosis and treatment of cancer patients. They made this known while speaking with Radio Nigeria on this year's World Cancer Day in Abeokuta, sharing her experience. A 46-year-old mother of three and a cancer survivor said though her journey was traumatic, she was confident that she was going to defeat the dreaded disease. While lamenting that people tend to stigmatize people suffering from cancer, she encouraged victims not to succumb, but to be courageous and optimistic. A psychologist and the head of Counseling and Human Development, University of Ibadan, Professor Rotimi Animashon, said providing mental health support will help cancer patients manage the anxiety and stress of diagnosis and treatment. A consultant oncologist, Dr. Lolade Kehinde, said cancer could be linked to genetics, lifestyle, environmental factors like smoking, excessive alcohol, consumption of viral infection like human papillomavirus, HPV. The oncologist explained that cancer is a group of diseases in which abnormal cells divide uncontrollably, destroying body tissues, saying breast, cervical, and prostate cancer were more prevalent in Nigeria. World Cancer Day is an international day marked on February 1st annually to raise awareness about cancer and to encourage its prevention, detection, and treatment. The theme for this year's celebration is United by Unique.
Now, away from health, members of staff of Radio Nigeria, Ogoilu FM Oko, your state, have been encouraged to sustain the good name of the station built by the immediate past general manager, Mr. Segun Akomu. The Oluko of Oko, Oba Solomon Akinola, gave the advice during the retirement and 60th birthday ceremony of the pioneer general manager of Ogoilu FM, Mr. Segun Akomu, held at the broadcasting house in Oko. Oba Akinola noted that Mr. Akomu worked hard to endear the station to the hearts of the people of Oyo and Osun states, hence the staff should continue building on the legacy. The monarch, however, appealed to the management of Radio Nigeria to come to the aid of Ogoilu FM in the area of funding to ensure uninterrupted broadcast. In their remarks, the station's head of programs, Mrs. Funmi Ogundiji, and her counterpart from the news department, Mrs. Temitope Musadomi, recounted the role Mr. Akomo played towards the growth of the station. Responding, the retired general manager, Mr. Segun Akomo, thanked the management of Radio Nigeria for the opportunity to serve as the pioneer general manager of the station. The event attracted dignitaries, various groups, including the Christian Association of Nigeria and Muslim community in Uko town. Prayers were also offered to God for the celebrant, Uguilu FM, and Radio Nigeria in general.
Oyo State government has posthumously honored the late legendary magician and global icon Professor Moshood Abiola Pele with the Merit Award as part of activities marking the state 50th anniversary celebrations. The award was presented in Ibadan during the Golden Jubilee ceremony, which recognized individuals whose contributions have significantly shaped the history and development of Oyo State over the past 5 decades. Presenting the award, Governor Seyi Makinde said the honor was in recognition of Professor Pele's outstanding contributions to the development of Oyo State, noting that his exceptional career brought international recognition to the state and showcased the creativity and talent of its people. The award was received on behalf of the family by the Ayedero of Yoruba Land and former member of the House of Representatives, Chief Shina Pele, who expressed deep gratitude to the state government for the gesture. Speaking at the event, one of the children, Chief Shina Pele, described his father as a legendary magician and global icon who proudly carried Oyo heritage across the world, adding that receiving the award during the state's Golden Jubilee underscored the family's enduring connection to Oyo State's 50 years journey of progress and development. Born in Iseyin, Oyo State, Professor Moshood Abiola Pele was Africa's most celebrated magician whose famous magic shows dominated Nigerian entertainment from the 1960s to the 1990s, and his posthumous recognition further cements his legacy as a pioneer of the creative and cultural economy of Western Nigeria.
If you have just joined us, you are listening to The World Today, coming to you from the stables of Radio Nigeria, Southwest Zonal Station here in Ibadan. Now, a reminder of the headlines. President Tinubu has ordered army to crush Kayama attackers. House sets up panel to review Electoral Act Amendment Bill. And still to come, China withdraws from US-Russia New START Treaty, and Europeans deny admitting publicly to Greenland concessions. We'll be back shortly. Do stay with us.
You're still with us on the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria on the news at 2. Now to the foreign scene. China says it will not join nuclear talks at this stage after the expiry of the US-Russia New START Treaty triggered fears at a global arms race. Campaigners have warned that the expiry of the New START Treaty today, which ended decades of restriction on how many warheads the two-power deploy, could encourage China to expand its own arsenal. The United States said any nuclear agreement will have to include China, but international efforts to encourage Beijing to join fresh talks have so far failed. The New START Treaty ended at the turn of the calendar on February 5 after US President Donald Trump did not follow up on Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin's proposal to extend warheads limit in the agreement for 1 year. Report says Russia and the United States control more than 80% of the world's nuclear warheads.
Well, still on the foreign scene and staying with China, the president, Xi Jinping, has identified Taiwan as key in China-U.S. relations during a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. Xi Jinping told President Trump to be prudent when supplying weapons to the island, adding that they attached importance to ties with Washington and hoped both sides would find ways to resolve their differences. Reacting, President Trump described the call as excellent and thorough. The call followed a flurry of visits by Western leaders, including the UK's Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, to China in recent months, hoping to reset relations with the world's second largest economy.
U.S. Vice President James Vance says European allies of the U.S. have made more concession to the U.S. over Greenland than they publicly admit. He suggested that the framework of a future deal unveiled by President Donald Trump last month will be of benefit to the U.S. President Trump's announcement came as a relief after mounting fear that the U.S. was prepared to use force against fellow NATO ally Denmark to seize its semi-autonomous Arctic island. President Trump says Greenland is necessary to defend against possible attacks from Russia and China. Both Denmark and Greenland have said they will not agree to cede sovereignty.
And with that, we have come to the end of the news on the world today. Well, before we go, here again are the major items. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the army to crush Kayama attackers in Kwara, the attacks that happened in Kwara State. House has set up panel to review Electoral Act Amendment Bill. And we also told you that China has withdrawn from U.S.-Russia New START treaty. And also, Europeans have denied admitting publicly to Greenland concessions.
Well, that's the end of the news of the world today. Join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. Modu Petoba edited. I am Remi Omolola from my colleague
Emilia Ojemudia. Many thanks for your time.